So, yeah, I just thought I would share a little bit of my process with you guys because I've never done that before. These are very early stages of this particular drawing process. So, all the pencils that I'm using are super light. They're in the H range, and then by the time you get into like the B pencils, it gets a little darker and darker. So at this point, I'm not really worried about, screwing up or doing something that I can't go back and fix because the pencils are light. Later on, you'll see the pencils will get super dark, but this is just a 5-minute process of, just a little glimpse of just the way I go about drawing. So as the drawing goes on, this is just basically the skeleton, the groundwork. So yeah, this part is where basically you really have to focus, because if you screw up on the background, the skeletal work, and then later everything will be screwed up. It's like a domino effect. So the drawing is not particularly impressive at this point. I mean, it still looks like the guy, but it's not. It's not like wow. Or if you see some of my other drawings, they're very bold and very 3D detailed. But since this is so earlier on, but the whole point is you still have to extremely focus. This is because it's a very important stage. You don't want to drop the ball, basically, on this process. So at this point, I'm not really worried about what's black or, what's darker than what. It's basically just trying to get the things laid out where they belong correctly. And then later I will worry about contrast and what should be gray, what should be black, what should be white, because that's really what's gonna determine how much a picture is gonna look 3D. So yeah, check it out and see what you think, if you like it. And I'm thinking about actually making some drawing lesson videos on YouTube. If I do get a response, I might do that. So yeah, basically, the drawing you see underneath was pretty much laid down by, I think, 3H pencil. Super light. I think even right now I'm still using 3H, but just pressing slightly more with the pencil. And then just basically looking back at the drawing and being like, okay, is the skeleton within the drawing proper, or is the structure on his jawbones straight? Do his teeth make sense when compared to the rest of his face? Is the scale of his head correct with his neck? And then also his hair, because you wouldn't want to have a head with a huge neck, and that doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of stopping and going back and looking at it from a distance, just to make sure everything is the scale of things are correct. I found out over the years that teeth are one of the hardest things to draw. You can screw them up fairly easily, because they're mainly white, but then you have to go. Yeah, it's a delicate work when working with teeth. They're very easy to screw up. A lot of artists, some artists do the whole. They make a circle for their face, and they measure They put a line through it, and line, horizontally where the eyes are supposed to be, and the nose and the mouth, and they kind of start that way. I kind of used to do that in the past too, but at this point I just kind of I just not wing it, but I just kind of go for it. It's more intuitive as far as where things belong. Because in this particular drawing, you're pretty much looking at the man eye level, but I want to say slightly down. You're looking at him from slightly down position, so you're almost kind of like slightly looking up at the man, so his chin is going to be slightly bigger than, let's say his eyes or the top of his head. So you kind of have to go ahead and make sure you get that, be intuitive when you draw. So it's like his little kind of little hair underneath his mouth seems to be bigger than normal, but I think that is due to the perspective of how we're looking at him. So yeah, I hope you kind of enjoyed, and yeah, thanks for watching.